Am I the a-hole for no longer making my husband sandwiches to take to work after discovering he was selling them? My female 33, husband male 37, works at an advertising company. We're struggling a bit financially because we're saving up to purchase a new apartment. He is used to eating fast food and it was costly. He had no problem spending money daily on fast food, and after doing the math, he spends more than $300 a month on just fast food. $20 daily. We live in an expensive area. I talked to him about it and he agreed that I make sandwiches for him to take with him to work. That way he eats healthy and we spare money for rent. Everything was going on well. Then I noticed he wouldn't respond when I asked whether he liked the sandwiches I make, but kept asking me make more than 2 since he was hungry. Yesterday, he came home with his friend and co-worker. We sat at dinner table and his friend brought up the sandwiches I make for my husband and how delicious they are. I thanked him, but then he said the price was a bit much. I was confused, so I asked him to explain. And he said my husband sells the sandwiches I make to his co-workers, then goes to buy his own lunch from the restaurant. I was stunned, but my husband denied it. I began arguing with him after his friend left. He said there was nothing wrong with it. I told him I will no longer be making him sandwiches if he's selling them to buy fast food. He defended himself, calling this an overreaction, since he's not spending money in fast food, and said I was being unfair to start an argument over this. I just walked into the bedroom and stayed there. Then he said I owe him an apology for God knows what, and he didn't think it was acceptable for me to lash out and say I won't make him sandwiches anymore. Now for the top comments. Not a hole. He was profiting off your kindness and labor. He kept that he was selling them a secret because he knew it was wrong. And by setting the price as he did, guest commented it was high. He's also besmirching her name because he's making it clear she's the sandwich maker. Not a hole, but maybe consider opening a sandwich delivery service? Sounds like they're hot ticket items. Not a hole. Your husband is ridiculous. On another note, what kind of sandwiches are you making that is able to sell them for a high price? Can I have the recipe? Right? I'm struggling to think of a sandwich filling that simultaneously fits into we're struggling a bit financially and being good enough for people to buy them on a daily basis. Like if a coworker tried to sell me an ordinary tuna fish sandwich on Wonder Bread, I would laugh in their face. Also, if they cost more than fast food/restaurant food and people are still buying them daily, they must be way better than said food. So this dumbass is basically scamming both of them. The guy is a mad genius in the non-relationship category. Gets sandwiches made for him, sells them to some other suckers, uses the money to buy food he actually wants. Not scoring any points with a wife, who is clearly not the a-hole here, but I'll give him a solid A for creativity. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not letting my boyfriend drive my dad's Ferrari? My dad is wealthy. Not like mega rich billionaire wealthy, but pretty damn wealthy. My dad owns this Ferrari V12 supercar that he loves. He takes it out to drive a few times a month when he can, and usually likes to take it to a local track. He's very protective of that car and doesn't want anyone driving it. He let me drive it once at his track, and I had like a race car driver instructor with me. But honestly, I am sort of afraid of it. It's really powerful and just more car than I can handle. Anyways, I'm dating this dude and he saw my dad's car when he was over and he asked me if he could drive it. I told him he would have to ask my dad because it's his, not mine. But I don't think he would let him because my dad doesn't really want anyone driving it. Anyways, he left it alone. He brought it up to my dad later, but my dad said no. My dad said he let me drive it once at a track with a race driver in the passenger seat and that he just didn't trust anyone else to drive it. So, my dad went out of town and now my boyfriend is asking me to let him drive the car while my dad is gone. He keeps asking me where the keys are and can he just take it for a spin. And I keep telling him no, and it's making me uncomfortable that he keeps asking. Finally, he got mad at me and called me a witch and said I should be supportive of him, that I should understand he doesn't have a rich family and will probably never have this opportunity again, and that if I loved him, I would do this for him. I don't know. I get that he doesn't really have another opportunity to drive this car, but like it's just a car and my dad would be really pissed if I let him. Am I the a-hole? I believe I might be the a-hole because my boyfriend can't afford a car like this on his own, and I feel bad that I'm denying him the opportunity to drive one, which is something he really wants. I am denying him his dream. OMG, dump him. Anyone who uses "if you loved me" to get their way is an a-hole that should be single and half a step away from being abusive. And after you dump him, ask your dad to let you drive it by his house. Not the a-hole. Lol, I'd be more comfortable riding in the passenger seat with my dad driving it, honestly. That thing scares me. Anyone who tells you, "if you love me, you will do this for me," is a guy you need to immediately kick out of your life. Speaking from experience here. Not the a-hole. Do not let him drive that car. It is not worth violating your dad's trust over some dude. And let me assure you, he is just some dude. I grew up poor, and on behalf of all poor people, he does not have a right to someone else's possessions. Imagine if you gave him the keys and something goes wrong. Imagine how your father would look at you as a person. Is this clearly selfish dude worth the relationship with your dad? Don't let this idiot gaslight you. Break up with his butt. He keeps telling me if I love him, I'll let him drive it. But yeah, I worry. Worry he'll kill himself with it or like trash it, and my dad will be really mad at me. It would also be theft. Which, if your dad found out, or if boyfriend wrecked it, he could be charged. And in some places, you could be charged as an accomplice. If you guys are dating, and he's not as douchey as he sounds, then I'm sure one day he would get to drive it as your dad begins to trust or respect him. But with boyfriend having zero respect for your dad, I don't see that being anytime soon. I didn't even think about that. Not the a-hole, of course. And this is for you to mind about your boyfriend. Red flags. Edit. A lot of people are calling this abuse and a red flag, and honestly, I never really thought it was that bad. I just thought teenage boy wants to drive fast car. Like it really didn't register to me that it was abusive or manipulative. So that people know, I did take the keys and put them in my dad's safe about 30-ish minutes after this post went up. A lot of people have mentioned he doesn't see a long-term relationship with me because he said this is the only chance I'll get. I honestly didn't register that, but yeah, it's got me thinking. Can't go through all the comments right now, I have to get to class. But yes, I get the message loud and clear, and I will come up with an exit strategy. Good news and bad news. Good news, heard your message loud and clear. And today he really showed who he is. Bad news, I have more crap to deal with from him. We are over after this. I can't even. Next story. Am I the a-hole for screaming at my husband for buying me flowers? The title sounds bad, I know, but please hear me out. So last week, my husband, 27 male, and I, 27 female, had a baby boy. My husband was away on business and the baby came early. Only 2 weeks before the specified date, don't worry. It was important to me that he would be there for the birth. It was hard contacting him because he was out with his phone off with some work friends post-meeting. As soon as my sister-in-law, his twin, 27 female, was able to contact him, I was a few hours along. He made it there, but stopped by a nearby florist for some flowers while I was giving him his first child. He missed it. He was in a line and did not think to forget about the gesture and be with me, despite him knowing that it was what I wanted to have him by my side. He arrived while I was passing the placenta, but instead of even bringing me the flowers he went to such lengths to give me, he went to see his son while handing the flowers to sister-in-law to give it to me. Apparently, he wanted to wait until the grossness was done to go see me. When he finally came to see me, I gave him an earful. His excuse was that it was a tradition for the birth of a son in his family to get flowers for the lady as thanks. That only made me 10 times as livid. I asked him what was the tradition for daughters. He had no answer. I have tried talking about this, but this past week he has slept on the couch and only talked to me about baby things. I don't know what was wrong with my complaints. From his coldness, I might as well have killed his son as opposed to giving life to his son. I made this post because I don't know anymore. And earlier today, he told me that I screamed at him for basically getting me flowers. He told me that I was shaping up to be a fine, entitled parent. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your husband missed the birth on purpose. He confirmed it when he said he was going to wait until the grossness was done. No attentive father turns his phone off while out with friends when his wife is 2 weeks from her due date. He is sexist and regressive and not a good partner. I'm sorry that you're realizing this now that you have a baby together. It sounds like you would have preferred Opie give birth in 1950 when the man waited in the smoking section of the waiting room. And bringing your wife flowers if she gave him a son meant he was Father of the Year. As thanks. What are you, a vending machine? This made me giggle. Not Dayhall, but your husband is for the following reasons. 1. Who turns their phone off while out with friends when their wife is pregnant. 2. Even if you could explain away the time at the florist because he wasn't thinking, or that the excitement of having a son led him to see the baby first, to turn to you and say he was waiting till the grossness was done. What about being there for you? You're still in the process of giving birth. Doesn't seem like he expressed any real gratitude to you for the birth of his son. 3. After you get home and you are a new mother dealing with a newborn, hormones, recovery, he's giving you the cold shoulder. He called you an entitled parent after you did the most selfless thing, grew a baby and brought it to life. You need a partner who supports and values you. If you can get some space from him by going to your parents, I would suggest it. Get some distance and then explain why you were hurt by his actions. I just want to point out here that the entire thing is actually gross. There's nothing cute about childbirth. That said, he should have bear it, like many others do. No problem. I just felt like that point needed to be made since everyone is acting like husband is wrong for thinking it's gross. He's not. The way he acted about it though, he is wrong for that. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not defending my boyfriend after my parents got upset at him? My boyfriend and I went to my parents for Passover, along with my sister and nieces. My boyfriend isn't Jewish and didn't know anything about Passover, but said he was interested in learning. Part of the tradition is leaving a glass of wine out for Elijah, a legendary prophet who is supposed to return to Earth someday to announce the arrival of the Messiah. You leave the glass of wine out so you have something to give him in case he comes by. We went over the story of Elijah during the Seder. The morning after the Seder, my boyfriend noticed that the wine was still there and asked if someone was going to drink it so the kids would think Elijah came. My mom said no. This isn't like the Easter Bunny or Santa. If Elijah doesn't come, then nothing happens and we'll have to wait until next year. We don't pretend that he came. However, when the kids came downstairs, they saw that the wine glass was empty and that there was some candy there. My boyfriend told the kids that Elijah had come by at night, drank the wine, and left some candy for them. The kids were confused, but fortunately my mom was on it and said my boyfriend was just kidding and that the candy was from him. After the kids left, my parents told my boyfriend that he was wrong for doing that and found what he did disrespectful by acting like this was just another Santa-type thing to give gifts to kids, even after my mom explained that this was totally different. I didn't do anything to defend him because I felt that my parents were right to be upset. He apologized to them, but is upset at me for not defending him. I explained that I did not stand up for him because I agreed with my parents that he had been disrespectful and should have known not to do this. He said that I should have stood up for him because he was just trying to do something fun for the kids, and that he had never been to a Seder before and hadn't really understood why it was inappropriate to pretend that Elijah had come. Not Dayhall. As your parents explained, this is not like leaving out cookies and milk for Santa. He disrespected your beliefs and religion by doing so. Also, I'm curious as what happens to the wine if it isn't drank. Someone could drink it or you could dump it. You just wouldn't lie and pretend that Elijah drank it. Not Dayhall. He was told the right thing to do. Not drink the wine, not pretend like Saint Elijah Claus came. And he intentionally ignored those instructions. It doesn't matter that he wanted to do something fun for kids. It doesn't matter that he doesn't understand why it was inappropriate. What matters is that he was told specifically what to do, and he did the opposite. Yeah, if he'd done it without asking, that wouldn't be great. But at least he'd be more foolish but kind than outright disrespectful. Not Dayhall. Your boyfriend did something he was specifically told not to do, and then is confused as to why people are upset? If he admittedly knows nothing about Passover, was already told not to drink the wine and lie to the kids, Who the hell does he think he is to go ahead and do it anyway? Right? It was very clearly explained to him. This is not a Santa/Easter Bunny/Tooth Fairy type tradition for the enjoyment of children. He doesn't have the excuse of, I didn't know and didn't understand, because he was very clearly told what not to do. And he did it anyway, and made himself look like not only a nahal, but an idiot as well.